Hi, today we will be doing Unit 2 and the pros of Unit 2 and which is called Avoid Plastics. So Unit 2 has one prose and one poem, and both the prose and the poem are based on the theme environment. So environment is about your surroundings, right? So let's start off. It is time to say no to plastic. So plastics, as we know, they are not good for the environment, right? Because why are they not good? Because they don't degrade very quickly. So whenever you use, say, a plastic bottle and you throw it on the ground, the mud doesn't easily, we've learned it in science, it doesn't um, co- degrade very quickly. It takes many years to degrade. So it makes the environment dirty, which is why we should say no to plastics and we should use other alternatives. Alternatives meaning we should instead use a glass bottle, so because glass is better, we can keep reusing it, right? So let's start off with the first paragraph. Plastic is not a strange product to anyone. It's everywhere in the present world and it has become a part of our life. So anything you see around you today is made out of plastic. So let's just go back one page and we can see here there are so many things that we see made out of plastic, right? We can see that a tumbler that we use is made out of plastic. Stool that we use is made out of plastic. We use plastic bags. There are plates that we use, temporary plates that are made out of plastic. So it's present everywhere in today's world. Alexander Parkes created the first man-made plastic. He demonstrated it in an international exhibition in London. So there was a man called Alexander Parkes, and he was the one to first create plastic. So he showed this particular plastic in London. So London is a city in a country called United Kingdom in England. He named it as Parkezine. So when he had created this plastic, he had named it after his surname. So his surname is Parkes, right? So he had named the plastic his invention. Invention means something that you have created. So he named it after his surname and he called it Parkezine. So first, it was not called plastic. Many years ago, it was called Parkezine. So now that we've read the first paragraph, let's go on to the questions. First question, who invented plastic? So like we just read, Alexander Parkes invented plastic. What did he name it? He named it Parkezine, right? Okay, let's move on to the second paragraph and we'll also do the third paragraph, learn a few new words and then we will go on to the questions. The common and wide use of plastic is mainly because it is inexpensive, it is long lasting, and it is easy to make. So, plastic is easy to make for manufacturers. Manufacturers means companies who create plastic, they make plastic. It is inexpensive. Inexpensive means it is cheap. You get it in a very small price, in a very less price. It is long lasting. Long lasting means it, like I said, it doesn't degrade very quickly. So it lasts for very long. So if you're using a plastic bag, you'll see you can keep using it for many months, right? That is why it is so popularly used by everyone. This substance can be molded into any form by heating and it can be retained in that particular form when cooled. Mold means give shape to. So basically, when plastic is heated, you can make it into any shape, right? It is called malleability. That process is called malleability. So you can make it into any shape you want. And once you let it cool down like that, it will remain in that shape for a very long time. Retain means to keep it for a very long time. It can be made into thin and light material which is now widely used to make hard and disposable carry bags or packing materials. Disposable means meant to be used once and thrown. So like you see these this plastic is made very thin, and you see those plastic covers that shopkeepers give you. So that's why plastic is being used over there. But now we are trying to ban plastic, right? We're trying to tell people to bring their own cloth bags and not use the plastic bags given by these shopkeepers. That was the second paragraph. Now let's move on to the third paragraph. These qualities cause threat to the environment. Threat means it is a problem. It is not good for the environment. It is bad. As it is cheap and easily available, people dispose plastic everywhere. So, throwing plastic away is not a very good habit. So you should always, if you're done using, you should firstly reuse plastic. You should keep using it again and again. If you cannot reuse it, and maybe, if it's stone or something, if you have to throw it, you should not throw it anywhere in any everywhere. There are certain boxes kept only for plastic garbage, so you should throw them in the correct garbage can. Plastic stays on the Earth's surface for many centuries as it is long lasting and impossible to decompose. So, like I said, it doesn't decompose very easily, right? So, it lasts for many centuries. So, someone, say 50 years back, had thrown some plastic material or something. So, that means they also um, that 50 the plastic that was thrown 50 years ago will still be present in the earth. That's how long plastic lasts for, which is why it is not good to throw plastic, right? It ultimately causes enormous environmental hazards. So hazards means it's very risky or dangerous. So like I said, it's not good. It's very bad for the environment. Enormous means very large, very huge. So like what you can hear people talk about climate change, about global warming. So all of this, if you like you stop using plastic, it is one step towards reducing all of these hazards. So when we just saw the word non-biodegradable as well. Uh, we will be seeing that in the next line, which means not capable of being decomposed. So these are not easily non-biodegradable, right? Due to migration, plastic pollution is highly concentrated in big cities. Migration means move from one place to another. So you see that a lot of people are migrating, they are not staying in the same place, which is why they're moving to bigger cities. Like in Karnataka, people come to Bangalore. So which means that people are bringing all of this plastic and it is highly concentrated in big cities. When these are thrown after use, they remain in the soil in the same form as they are non-biodegradable. So things like paper and cloth, they are biodegradable. You can they don't remain in the soil; they degrade in the soil. But plastic does not degrade, right? So we've completed the uh, third para as well. Let's go to the questions. Why do people dispose plastic everywhere? Why? Like we just read here, as it is cheap and easily available, people dispose it everywhere. Give reason for plastic pollution due to migration, people moving from one place to another. Where is plastic pollution seen more? In big cities. 4. Where does the plastic so disposed remain? It remains in the soil. Why? Because it is non-biodegradable, right? Okay, so let's move on to the fourth paragraph. Plastic causes serious damage to the environment at every stage of its production or even in its disposal. So, which means that not just once it is made, its final product is come. Even in the process of making these covers that you get from your shopkeeper, at every process it is it is damaging to the environment. To reduce the risks involved in plastic, the usage should be minimized, which can result in production. To reduce the risk meaning something which can go bad. Something that which can go wrong is a risk. The usage should be minimized. Minimized means it should be lessened. Lesser and lesser people should use plastic, which is why the shopkeepers nowadays have started saying get your own cloth bags, so that lesser people use these plastics. The chemical that is used in the production of plastics is toxic and can cause serious damage to all living beings. Toxic means it's poisonous. So there are certain chemicals which are used in creating plastic, so which means that they are poisonous for all living beings, not just human beings, even for animals, right? Even recycling of plastic causes problems. Recycling means converting waste to reusable material. So suppose you want to throw away a plastic and but you're still using it again, which means you're reusing it. But even reusing plastic is problematic. Problematic meaning it is causing an issue, right? The worst thing is that recycling degrades the quality of plastic and demands the production of more plastic to make an original product. So whenever we want to recycle plastic, it means that the original quality of plastic, quality means, it doesn't tear, initially if it is of good quality, which means that the plastic cover that you had, it wasn't tearing. But if you have to recycle that plastic cover, it means that it needs more plastic to make it better. So you can't use the existing plastic cover. You need something more to make it, to recycle it. A single plastic sheet can take about 1,000 years to rot. So remember earlier I spoke about 50 years. So it's not 50 years, it's much more than that. 1,000 years. It can take 1,000 years to degrade in the soil. It also has bad impact on the food chain. So recently there's been news that people throw it at beaches in the sea and all of that. So what happens is the fish, when they are trying to swim around, they're choking on this plastic. Choking means they're dying because there is plastic in the water, which means that it is impacting the food chain also. It is impacting animals also. Plastic is one of the causes for global warming. So, what is global warming? It is the increase in Earth's temperature. So, over the years, we see that the Earth's temperature is rising. So it's not a good thing if the temperature is rising above a certain degree. It's very hot. So, that's not a good thing. So, let's do the last set of questions. How does plastic cause pollution at every stage of its production? Which means that even to recycle plastic, it is a problematic process, right? And we also read that chemicals used in the production of plastics is toxic, right? So at every stage, from the production to recycling to disposal, everything is problematic. How long can plastic take to decompose? So what did we read here? 1,000 years, right? So that long. Three, how does it have a bad impact on Earth? Plastic is one of the causes for global warming, which is not a good thing, right? We'll go on to our fifth paragraph, which is the last paragraph of this chapter. Rivers have become the main dumping ground for plastics, which pollute water, marine life, and also the air that we breathe. So, remember, I told you fish are dying because of this. So, it is not a good thing because people are throwing away their plastic in rivers, in water bodies. Many are being profited by plastic. So, Because plastic, like earlier we read, it's very cheap, it's very easy to make also. A lot of people are still producing plastic. They're still making more and more plastic. Those who get profit from plastics are trying to dispute the harm that it causes. Dispute means they are saying the other thing. They are saying, no, let us still keep using plastic. But why are they saying that? Because they're making a lot of money out of it. Profit means they're making a lot of money, right? um, you can't completely stop the use of plastic, but can definitely minimize its production. So over the years, we've become very, very used to using plastic, right? So it's very difficult to completely let go, to completely stop using plastic. So how can we do that? We can at least minimize, when we go out to buy vegetables or something from the shop, we can take a cloth bag instead and keep reusing that cloth bag instead of every time taking a plastic cover from them. For a healthy future, the use of plastic should be minimized at any cost. So it's very, very important for the environment, for a safe environment, to at least minimize the use of plastic. So let's go on to vocabulary now. Read the following passage. People are foolish to use plastics extensively. So why is this foolish, ISH underlined? It is something called a suffix, right? So let's read about what suffix is here. Look at the syllables underlined in the paragraph. So see, an example here is foolish, right? So why is this ISH underlined? The addition of a syllable at the end of a word is called a suffix. So fool is a word by in itself, right? Fool means a stupid person, right? So foolish is he's doing a foolish thing. His action is foolish. Suffixes like able, less, some, os, full, etc. are used to make the word adjectives. Use the words in the cloud to make your own words with suffixes. Okay. One is done for you. Comfortable. Okay. So we will use this. So let's go back and read the entire paragraph before that. Some people think that the argument against the use of plastic is meaningless. Meaningless means, with meaning means, it means something. Meaningless means it doesn't mean anything. Only when people come to know about its threats, it will be a remarkable achievement. Remarkable means a very good achievement. This awareness has to be created. So aware is a word, right? To let people know about something. So awareness is the NESS. Ness is the suffix added to awareness. Okay. So what I want you to do is pause the video and do this activity by yourself. Match these words over here and to each of this suffix. So comfort is already done, so it is comfortable, right? Is to it is matched to able. So pause the video and try to do this activity by yourself, and we will come back and do it together. So I hope you paused the video and did it by yourself. So let's do it together now. So the first word, aware. So what does that match with? It matches with awareness, right? Next word, care, matches with full, careful. Regard matches with less, regardless. Comfort we've already done. Trouble matches with some, troublesome. Glory matches with us, so it becomes glorious. So when you write glorious, the spelling will be Glorious. Okay, so Y will turn to I when you write glorious. Sport matches finally with IVE, which is if, so it is sportive. Read and respond. Make a resolution by taking this oath. Okay, So, environment charter. So, I write your name here. So, whatever your name is, solemnly promise to work hard, achieve and maintain beauty in my surroundings with all efforts, with all courage. By this pledge, with great determination, I dedicate myself to make this place a better one to live in. Okay. Answer each of the following questions in 2 or 3 sentences. Why is plastic widely used today? So, what did we read here? Let's just go back. Why is it widely used? So, like we saw here, let me just underline that. It is inexpensive, long lasting, and easy to make. Right? So, that's the answer. 2. How does plastic cause environmental hazards? So, like we read here, plastic causes serious damage to the environment at every stage of its production or even its disposal, right? 3. What are the problems caused by recycling plastic? What are the problems that we read here? The worst thing is that recycling degrades the quality of plastic and demands the production of more plastic to make an original product. So, what is the point of recycling when you need more plastic, right, to make it? So, that is how it causes problems. So, the next one is language in use. Read the questions. Who are you? Who means which person? Why are you laughing? Why means somebody is asking for a reason. Which pen do you want? Which means there are multiple options and they're asking this one or that one. Which? When do you get up? When means what time? How tall are you? It means tell the length, how tall you are. So these are something called interrogatives. Okay. There are some question words in the English language which begin with the letters WH except the word how. So what, why, which, when, where, who, whom. These are all question words. They're used for asking questions. Fill in the blanks with suitable question words. Why is plastic pollution concentrated in big cities? Then next, dash. Did the train leave? When did the train leave? Dash do you want from me? What do you want from me? Dash of the roads is shorter. Which of the roads is shorter? Fourth one, dash will you reach there? When will you reach there? 5. Dash did you come? How did you come? By bus or by train? 6. Dash is your sister crying so loudly? Why is your sister crying so loudly? So we'll do the next one. Some action words can be changed into noun form. The word furnish, which is an action word, can be converted into noun. Um, it furnishes a verb, right? So it can be converted to a noun by adding the suffix URE to furniture. In the same way, add becomes addition by adding the suffix ION. Okay, so we will do exercise A and B, after which the writing practice, dictionary work, the project work, which is a green survey, and speak well, I want you to do by yourself. All right. Find out the noun forms of the words given below. You can use a dictionary if you want, but I'll help you out with it. One is done for you: born, birth; marry, marriage; graduate, graduation; high, height; impress, impression; inspire, inspiration; perform, performance. Now fill in the blanks with the suitable noun forms mentioned above. One is done for you. So the birth, like we saw here, the birth of a girl child made everybody happy in the family. After she grew up, her marriage was arranged with a boy who had a graduate in computer science. He had reached a very great height in his career. His friends had a good impression about him. His inspiration was his grandfather, whose performance as a scientist was recognized by the government. So I hope that you have understood how we have used the noun forms of these words in the fill in the blanks here. So I hope that you will do the remaining um, writing practice and dictionary work, the green survey, and speak well by yourself. So that ends the chapter, which is called Avoid Plastics. Thank you for watching, and I hope you understood.